In this section, we are going to discuss the frictionary in the state government machinery between the CM and the governor. This has been a never-ending and a long debated topic in the Indian history. Please don't skip this video to get a full picture. So, who is the governor of a state? Governor is a nominal executive head of the state. So, what is meant by nominal? For those persons who don't know the meaning of nominal, let me explain. In the Oxford Languages Dictionary, nominal means existing in the name only. Literally it means namesake. And second meaning is very small, far below the real value or cost. And this governor is appointed or nominated by the central government. So you can see the relation of state government and the central government and the governor. Here lies the state government and here lies the central government. And the governor acts as a bridge in between the central government as well as the state government. Even though the central government nominates the governor, the Indian president appoints the governor for each state by the warrant under his hand and seal. This governor's removal is not prescribed in the constitution and he can be removed anytime at the will of the president, and he can be reappointed or transferred to one state to another state. So let us discuss some of the important articles in relation to the governor. Article 154 says that governor is the executive head of the state. All the executive functions will be performed by him or the persons appointed by him in accordance with the constitution. Article 163 says that he will be aided and advised by the CM and the Council of Ministers. So any function or any decision has to be done in accordance with the aid and advice of the CM and the Council of Ministers. But unless he is performing a function at his discretion. What are the discretionary powers of the governor? Discretion doesn't mean that he can take his decision on his own self-interested discretion. This discretionary powers is very well given in the constitution. So what are the discretionary powers of the governor? The discretionary powers of the governor is classified into two types. One is constitutional and another one is situational. So constitutional power is he can reserve the bill for the consideration of president, or he can recommend the president's rule in the state when given as an additional charge as lieutenant governor of union territory. As you have seen that the lieutenant governor of Puducherry is also a governor of Telangana, and amount payable by the government of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram can be decided by the governor which amount of money has to be given for the autonomous tribal district council, or when he seeks information from the CM for the administrative and legal affairs. So what are the situational powers? When he has to appoint a CM, when there is no clear majority, or when the incumbent CM dies in the office, or when he dismisses the Council of Ministers, when they don't enjoy the confidence in the state legislative assembly, or when he dissolves the state legislative assembly when it loses its own majority, right? And governor has some additional situational powers in the states described in the Schedule 5 and 6, that is tribal states described in the Constitution of India. Now we will be seeing next article related to the governor. Before that, the discretionary power is only available to the governors. It is not available to the President of India. This is one of the rare power, rare extra power available to the governors only. In 42nd Amendment Act, it made that the Council of Ministers decision is binding on the President, but it is not binding on the Governor of State. Right? Now we will be seeing next article 164. This is most important topic in relation to the Governor and the State Legislative Assembly. The Council of Ministers are responsible to the State Legislative Assembly. The State Governor appoints the Chief Minister. When he appoints the Chief Minister, and ultimately the CM will recommend the Governor to appoint the other Council of Ministers, and those Council of Ministers is responsible for the State Legislative Assembly, right? So When they appoint any minister, definitely they will take any oath or affirmation, right? So it is described in the Article 164. Each member of the House of People or Council of States. In some states, there will be both House of the People as well as the Council of States. Shall, before taking his seat, make and subscribe before the President. They are actually affirming or oath to President of India or some other person appointed on that behalf by him or her an oath or affirmation according to the form set out for purpose in the third schedule of Constitution. So, any oath or affirmation for the Council of Ministers is clearly described in the Article 164. Now, let us take a case study. Here, he is the Honorable Governor of the Kerala and he is the Honorable Chief Minister of the Kerala. Let us see the statement of Honorable Governor of the Kerala. He says that a minister who deliberately violates the oath and undermines the unity and integrity of the word cannot continue to enjoy my pleasure. Take a note, he has said that the word oath, right? So the oath indirectly relates to the Article 164, right? So now let us describe the Article 164. These articles in the Constitution doesn't came overnight. We know that our Constitution has been drafted for around 2 years, 11 months, and few days. So there has been many draft articles. So before Article 164, the first draft article in relation to the Article 164 was Article 126. Here this says that the governor's minister shall be chosen and summoned by the governor and shall hold office during his presidency. Says that the governor can appoint a minister and can remove a minister in his pleasure. It doesn't say any role of cabinet or the CM, right? But the same article was amended and it is to a draft article. This article is Article 144. Here, the general discretion of the governor was taken away and the cabinet was given the authority to rule. So, see the development from Article 126, draft Article 126 to Article 144, which is also a draft article. Here, the general discretion of the governor was taken away and the cabinet was given the authority to rule. And again, the Article 144 was amended and the final article which came was Article 163 and 164. And the amendment was done by our Honorable Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So let us see the Article 163 of 1 in detail. Article 163 of 1 says that Council of Ministers must aid and advise the governor. However, you have to see the clause 2 also. The governor can act in his discretion in certain matters as permitted by the constitution. So we have already discussed about the discretion matters, that is constitutional as well as situational, and we have never seen a topic which is related to a governor which he can remove a council of ministers at his own discretion, right, or with his own pleasure. So when we read an article or when we say an article, it must be supported by other articles also. These articles are not separable. They have to read in a continuous phase. Then only we can get a clear picture. So this means the governor is generally bound by the cabinet decision except he has legitimate right to invoke his discretion. This matters is legitimate in union territories. You can see, for example, in deciding on sanction to prosecute cabinet minister or in his decisions as an administrator of a union territory. In union territory, lieutenant government enjoys some more powers in comparison with the governor of a state. So, the statement made by the governor is in accordance with the Article 164. But this statement cannot be inseparable from Article 163. So, a statement made by the governor cannot cause the exit of a particular minister by his withdrawing pressure, by his statement known as withdrawing pressure. So, now we will discuss who is the Chief Minister of a state. Who is Chief Minister? What are his powers? Chief Minister is a real executive head of the government. So you can understand the difference. Governor is a nominal executive head, and Chief Minister is a real executive head of the government. And he is assisted by the Council of Ministers, who are also a part of state executive. He is appointed by the governor according to the Article 164. And governor cannot appoint any random person as a chief minister. Governor can appoint a person as a chief minister of a party which enjoys majority and which projects a person as a chief minister. He can only appoint a person as a chief minister which enjoys majority in the election, and governor cannot remove him at any time. The governor cannot even dismiss him till he enjoys the majority of the house. When CM loses the majority of the house, he had to resign and the governor dismisses him at that situation. Now let us see the relation of governor and CM. The chief minister performs the following functions: that he has to communicate the decisions taken by the council of ministers to the governor, to report the governor about any information about administrative affairs, and if any minister has decided any issue, the same has to be communicated to the governor. Also, on the appointment of some key important posts in the state government, like Advocate General or Chairman of State Public Service Commission or State Election Commission, he has to take the advice of governor for the appointment of these key posts. Now, the last discussed points are clearly given in the Article 164. The Chief Minister has to communicate all the administrative decisions that are taken by him and the Council of Ministers to the Governor. So, this article clearly explains that Governor is a bridge between the central government as well as the state government. Is there any verdicts that is given by the Supreme Court in relation of state government and the governor? Let us discuss. In 2016 verdict, Nabam Rebia case, it has said that governor can summon, prorogue, and dissolve the house only on the aid and the advice of Council of Ministers. But the court has also clarified that governor had reasons to believe that the CM and her or his Council of Ministers have lost the confidence of the house. A floor test can be conducted. Now, let us take a case study, second case study. Now, the CM says that he is going to remove the governor from the post of chancellor from state universities. In India, in many states, the governor of a state will enjoy as the chancellor of state university. He will be the incumbent chancellor of state universities. And if state government wishes to remove him from the post of chancellor from state universities, the government can do so. So, can the Chief Minister and the Legislative Assembly can really remove the governor from the post of chancellor from state university? The answer is yes. And it has been also recommended by M.M. Punji Commission in 2010 on center-state relations. It states that the governor should not be burdened with the position and powers which may expose the office to controversies or public criticism. So, what are the ways to remove a governor from the chancellor? By moving a bill or an ordinance. When the House State Legislative Assembly is not in order, they can move an ordinance. Now let us take the consideration of ordinance. Ordinance. Now, according to Article 213 of the Constitution, it empowers governor to promulgate an ordinance when State Legislative Assembly is not in assembly. So you have to take a note that governor will promulgate the ordinance. And let us go to the case study. Here, the CM wants to remove the governor as the chancellor of state universities. For that, the governor has to promulgate the ordinance that governor is removed from the post of chancellor from the state universities. You have to understand the points, right? The ordinance, this ordinance can be either be approved, disapproved, or withdrawn by the governor. He has the power to approve or disapprove, or even he can withdraw it. Okay, or the second situation is when he thinks that this ordinance has to be passed to the president. for the consideration of president, right? It has without the instruction from the president, governor cannot issue ordinance in the following cases. If he thinks that it deems to be get a consideration for the president, he can send it to the president. Or if it contains provisions that requires previous sanction from the president, he has to send it to the president mandatorily. Or if any state legislature containing the same provisions would have been invalid without receiving the president's assent. For some situations, the state legislatures have prescribed that it should get a mandatory president's approval. In these situations, it has to be sent to the president. We will be discussing whether the president will approve it or not. It is secondary. Now we will be discussing the bill. So when it comes to the bill, there are two types of bills: normal bill or money bill. I don't think the government will pass this bill as a money bill. However, they can pass in certain circumstances. The final decision is with the speaker. The speaker can decide whether this is a money bill or normal bill. But I don't think it will be passed as a money bill. For example, the Aadhaar bill was passed as a money bill by the Lok Sabha House, and the speaker is the final authority who decides whether it will be a normal bill or money bill. So, in circumstances of normal bill, the governor can approve, disapprove, or he can give it for reconsideration for amendment, or he can also give it for the consideration of president. When it goes to the president, when it goes to the president, president can also approve, disapprove, or withdraw. Or when it gives for the reconsideration, the next time the bill has to be sent directly to the president, not to the governor, right? So the president has no obligation. He can't be questioned whether he approves or disapproves or whether he holds that bill. No one can question that bill, right? And with regards to the money bill, the governor has to approve it. First time he can send it for reconsideration. But whether it is amended or not amended, he has to approve that money bill. These are the two circumstances. So when it let us assume that it has been sent in the normal bill circumstances. So the governor has the authority. Or if governor sends it to the president has the authority. Now let us discuss the circumstances of or let us discuss the relation of central government and the president and governor. So, central government will be formed by a party which enjoys a majority, right? In the present circumstance, it is like that. The central government is party which enjoys the majority, and this majority party will nominate a person for the president. And if this person becomes the president, the central government nominates a person for the governor, and they will ask the president to appoint this person as the governor of the state. And do you think the president will help the state government to remove that person as a governor? I don't know. I don't know what the decision will be taken by the president. And this is all the part of politics. Thank you.